Hi, Gemini, and welcome to your July 2017 Love Reading with Divine Love Tarot. Okay, thank you for joining me. If this is the first time watching a video with me, I really truly appreciate you clicking. And if you're returning from one of the previous readings, then thank you so much for giving me another chance. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into your reading. I've already shuffled the cards, and we're doing a past, present, and future spread for your love reading. Okay, so the first card in your past position is the Two of Cups. The next card in your past position is the Nine of Wands. And the next card in your past position is the Page of Cups. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the Two of Cups. And Two of Cups represents partnerships, okay? All twos represent balance of some kind. So this can represent a balanced partnership or relationship. Cooperation, a budding romance, and balance in your relationship. So in the past position, it could represent a relationship that was very loving, accepting, and seemed perfect on the outside. And even though these things may have changed, or this relationship, you may no longer be in it anymore, it really has an effect on how you see love and relationships today, okay? Or you learned a huge lesson from this particular relationship in your past. Okay, so the Two of Cups in the past position tends to highlight how past relationships have affected your life, your love life, and your current relationship. Okay, so this is basically saying that in the past, this particular relationship has a profound effect on you going forward. All right, the next card in your past position is the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands can represent your inner strength. Okay, it can represent wariness, things possibly not going as planned, okay, being defensive or on guard, maybe being afraid to be hurt. So in the past position, it represents a time where you put in a lot of effort into your relationship, but whatever your trials or issues were, you were able to overcome them. All right, you may have been very persistent. You may have tried and tried and tried, and this card represents being tired or weary sometimes, but also having that one last chance, that one last shot. So perhaps that one last try, and you were successful. Okay, it can also represent a time where you might have needed some space in a relationship. Okay, you took some space for yourself. Maybe you felt suffocated by your partner. Okay, you see all these wands that this person is surrounded by, so you might have felt suffocated and just needed some time to yourself. All right, so then we go ahead and move on to the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is like the romantic messenger, okay, the shy romantic messenger. This card is saying that, can say love is just around the corner, or this card, because it is the Page of Cups, it can represent some type of emotional immaturity, and saying that you need to basically get in touch with your emotions, or that you need to learn some more in your the development of your emotional nature, or your emotional development could use work. All right, so in the past position, it can represent a time where you fell in love so deeply, okay, and possibly so intensely it may have felt like the first time. Okay, but once again, if you are emotionally immature, then you might fall in love deeply, or it might be easy for you to fall in love deeply, I should say. Okay, but what it's saying is, though, is that right now there's room for growth in a relationship, and you can see where a relationship or a situation can be furthered, but you're also aware of the obstacles as well. Okay, because this is the past position. So you were the Page of Cups in the past, but now looking back, you can see where you can further your situation based upon what you learned in this past position. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what cards are in your present position, Gemini. All right, and the first card in your present position is the Empress. Next card in your present position is the Ten of Cups. And the next card in your present position is the Nine of Swords. Okay, so this is interesting because you have the Empress. And the Empress represents femininity, okay? It represents initiative, fruitfulness, a woman who cares for everyone. This is basically, if this is you, your partner sees you as the ultimate woman, okay? Can also represent a woman who maybe loves too much. So in the present position, it does signify that things are kind of moving pretty smoothly right now, okay? It can also indicate that perhaps a pregnancy is developing, or that you're pregnant, or that if you're a male reading this, then your partner may be pregnant. Okay. She can also represent a woman in your life. So if this is you, if you're the female in the relationship, or as a man, if this is your partner, it can say that she may need to nurture herself. Okay. Her emotions can be fickle, and she can possibly be smothering, because this is the mother nature. So she could be smothering, but then yet demand freedom for herself, okay? Because she's the empress, so she can do what she wants. She's going to take care of you, but then she wants the freedom to also do what she wants. And that could just be the energy that you're bringing into the relationship. You may be smothering, okay, male or female, and yet you demand your freedom, okay? So also, it can represent a time of pampering. So if you're a man, you may be pampering the female in your life, and if you're a woman, your partner may be pampering you, or vice versa. Who, if this is your energy, then your partner, whoever they are, male or female, could be pampering you at this time. Okay, so then we move into the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups represents harmony in a relationship. Okay, represents celebrations, happy time, happy relationship, family bonds, just basically celebrating life. So this cup is saying that everything is working well when we work together. So in your present position, you and your partner are working together. You're pampering her, they're pampering you. You guys are experiencing a lot of good times right now, okay? This card in this position, in the present position, is saying that you are about to have a big breakthrough. You're in a good place, and right now is a good position to influence your partner. All right, and this is interesting because now we're moving into the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords represents anxiety, paranoia, a feeling of failure, mental anguish, sleeplessness, depression, okay? And you can be suffering these emotions, but this can be based on some type of internal conflict. Because if we're looking towards these other cards, there's really not much else going on here that would depict that it's a struggle between your partners. So this to me represents an inner struggle. Okay, and Gemini, you do have a dual nature, and sometimes there is that tendency to doubt, when things are going too good. And this is human nature. I won't even just say this is Gemini, but sometimes human nature, when things are going too good, we tend to have doubts about it, okay? We tend to not want to trust, depending on what we're coming from in our past. We tend to not want to trust what's happening for us here. Okay, so if you had a relationship that was good in the past but didn't work out, you may be doubtful that things are working out for you right now. If you need to work on your emotional development, okay, you may not trust that things are good for you right now. If you come from a past where you fought and struggled to get where you are, right, even though things may be good now, you may not be so prone to trust it because you're coming from, you're used to struggle, you're used to strife. So things may be going good, but you're still holding on to those negative feelings from the past. That's what this card is saying. Okay, so you need to let that go. You need to let that go because here, there's good things going on. Now, this card can also represent guilt. It can represent guilt about something that you've done in the past. So if things are going good, but you know that you've done something back here, then you're feeling guilty about it. Okay, and that's another angle that this story could be taking. All right, so let's go ahead and see what we have going on in the future position. Also, I just want to put out there that if you do have depression or some type of mental strain or stress or whatever going on, this card is saying that it needs to be dealt with, okay? That your relationship is going to suffer as long as you're suffering. And that's also what this card means, is suffering in silence. So if you do need help, don't be too proud to reach out, whether it's your partner, counseling, a friend, just reach out and talk to somebody because something is really, really bothering you and you're internalizing it, and it's not good for the future of your relationship. All right. So that was somebody in particular that doesn't resonate with everyone. It won't resonate with everyone. In your future position, all right, the first card in your future position is the Seven of Cups. Next card in your future position is the Two of Pentacles. And the next card in your future position, the last card in your reading, is the Six of Cups. All right, so right off the bat, I can see that this is calling for a balancing of your emotions, okay? Because the cups represent emotions, and both of these cups represent a person who is not really grounded in reality or grounded in their present situation, okay? And Two of Pentacles, twos always call for balance, and Pentacles is a grounding energy, okay? So it's calling for you to kind of ground yourself and balance out your emotions. I can see that right off the bat. But let's go ahead and start with the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is a card of daydreaming, fantasy, confusion. This card can represent temptation, okay? This card symbolizes your inner dialogue and your inner realm, all right? Your hopes, your dreams, um, your wishes and desires, all right? And this card can represent a lack of understanding of your true motivations, all right? It can also represent a temptation or having too many options. So in the future position, this card represents a choice that you're going to have to make. It's asking you to stay true to yourself and try to deny any temporary pleasure in order to make room for lasting happiness. All right, so things are going well right now, okay? In your current spread, you have the Ten of Cups, you have the Empress. Things are going good right now for you and your partner. But something inside of you is not okay, okay? Something inside of you is not accepting how good things are, or you're conflicted about something you've done in the past. This card now is saying that in the future there will be temptation, and you need to prepare now for that, okay? So get over whatever this is, because we all know that when we are feeling out of sorts is when we're more likely to succumb to temptation. So this card is asking you to prepare now in the present for what's coming in the future, and try to keep a focus on your partner and your happiness and what you guys are working on, and not on external things. You see that there's a snake. Where's the snake? There's a snake working its way through this card, okay? So that is the basically the negative energy, all right, snaking through this reading, trying to undermine your emotions and whatever you are building with your partner. So we move on to the Two of Pentacles, and this call once again is calling for balance. This card represents prioritization, juggling, okay? This card is saying that there will be challenges in your future, or there will be something to disrupt the status quo, all right? But the final outcome lies in your hands depending on how you react to those challenges. So in this position, it's saying to be less ambivalent. And that, is some advice that, as a Gemini, as someone with a dual nature, you're always having to kind of try to balance yourself out, balance both of your natures out. And so for your relationship, this card is calling for you to do that, because you can't kind of swing back and forth. Things are going good, and then, here comes this temptation, and, you're contemplating perhaps should you, take a taste, should you not? But this card is telling you, keep your eyes on the prize, okay? Focus on your relationship, focus on balancing and harmonizing what you already have, okay? You can achieve harmony, all right? But you just need to find that balance. Then we move on to the Six of Cups, okay? And the Six of Cups is another card about nostalgia, possibly paying for past mistakes. This card can represent you being stuck in the past, or just thinking back to a time when things were better. But once again, it's highlighting that you are not living in the present, okay? and that you need to bring your focus back to your actual current situation, not a past partner, because this card can also represent a partner that wants to come back, which could be the temptation that is lurking in this position of your reading. Okay, so if that past partner comes back, you need to be balanced in order to deal with that temptation. All right. This card is also saying that you may need to sever ties from an old flame or an old relationship. And that's kind of what's causing some of these issues in your relationship, because you just haven't given that relationship any closure. So you need to do that in order to move on, because your partner is the Empress or represents the Empress, or you represent the Empress to your partner. So that to me shows that there's a great potential for that love relationship, but you need to let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. Okay? Yeah, this past lover is possibly going to try to interfere greatly in your relationship. All right, and you're going to need to sever ties. You're going to have to take off the rose-colored glasses about what that relationship might have represented to you, and let's go back to the past position where past relationship is a great influence in your life. Well, it's in the past for a reason. All right, so make a decision. Do you want your new partner? Do you want your current partner that you're having these great feelings, 10 of cups, this abundance in this relationship that's possible, this Empress energy? Do you want that, or do you want this past lover sorry about that, this past lover that's trying to come back and perhaps disrupt all of this because they see what you have here? And that's human nature as well. Whatever happened, that relationship ended for a reason. And here comes this person now trying to upset your happiness that you have now. But that's a choice, okay? And that's what this card is also saying. You're going to have to make that choice. All right? I'm trying to see another angle, which may not have anything to do with another person, but clearly these cards are saying that there's a lot of past issues that are springing up to kind of upset the balance. But if in the past, say there was a breakup between you and your current partner in the past, okay? And you might have been hurt from that breakup because you tried so hard for things. And now you guys are back together and things are going well, but you don't trust that things will continue to go well because of the strife and struggle that you guys had in the past. But this person still represents that relationship bond that you want, okay? So it's saying to let go of the negative feelings from the past, once again, in regards to your partner. So once again, this is for someone who there is no outside influence, and this is just you and your partner. Trust your intuition about this person and let go of past emotions, okay? And work on your relationship now, whether that's to stay together, whether that's to break up. But you have the 10 of Cups and the Empress in the present position, so I don't see a reason why you would want to. All right, so get out of your head. All right, get out of this state of 9 of Swords and get into the good stuff that you have in this current relationship. All right, Gemini. I hope that resonated with someone. I hope that resonated with a few people, and if it did, please be sure to let me know in the comments. Also, I have up the weekly love readings. I call them quick and dirty, and they're literally 4-minute videos that give you a brief snapshot into the weekly energy of your relationship. So those are already up for all the signs, so you can go ahead and check those out. All right, and once again, I appreciate you joining me, and thank you so much. I hope to see you next reading. Bye, Gemini.